Hi, Abby. How are you?
Hey, David, I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Good.
That's good. Got any people joining today?
Yes. Yeah. We have um, um like around 20 people joining
Great.
today. Yep. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Yes, I think we should wait a few more minutes. Well, I think that's us. Yeah. Okay. So, everyone, thank you for joining today's Canvas training session. My name is David Montana, and I will be recording this session, so you can refer back to this recording later. So we are really excited to have Abby with us. She's our Canva customer success manager, and she will be leading today's walkthrough. And yeah, so pretty much Abby will be taking us through the key features, the best practices and tips to help you get the most out of Canva. And if you have any questions during this session, feel free to drop them in the chat, or we also will have a Q&A at the end of the session. So yeah. So with that, I'll hand over to you, Abby.
Thanks so much, David. And hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. As David mentioned, I'm a customer success manager at Canva. I'm based at our HQ in Sydney, where I'm sitting right now. Doesn't look like it, but that's where I actually am. And yeah, lucky enough to be looking after the Health Scope account. We're very excited to launch this account. So I'm going to run you through a few things, but wanted to start by saying we're a small group today. So please feel free to pop your questions in the chat as we go. I don't anticipate that we'll take the full hour, given that we are a very small group. So I'll make sure that I save some time for Q&A at the end as well. Going to start off by sharing my screen. David, can you just give me a thumbs up if you can see that?
Yes, I can see it.
Beautiful. Okay, so welcome to your Canva for Health program. Beautiful. So I hope that wasn't too overwhelming. I know that there's a lot in that video. And I guess what I want you to take from that is there is a lot that you can do within Canva. However, for today, we're just going to be doing a beginner level training. I'm sure we've got some mixed experience on the call. I'll just do some beginner training in your HealthScope account. And if there are any additional use cases that we uncover later on, I'm always happy to do some more training. So for today's beginner training, we'll be doing general navigation and best practice in Canva. I'm going to walk you through the HealthScope account, including the brand kits and brand templates. That's where the home of your brand will now be in Canva. We'll talk about how to download and share assets, and then where to go for support if you need it. And as I said before, we'll save some time for Q&A. But before we get started, we are a small group, so this is just a little exercise that I like to do to get us all warmed up. As some of you may know, some of you may not know, Canva has a lot of different doc types that you can create within the platform, one of which are collaborative whiteboards. So I'm going to start with a collaborative whiteboard. I know that not everybody on the call today is currently a member on your Canva account. That's fine. With these whiteboards, you can share them with anybody, whether they have a Canva account or not. It's just a really good way to brainstorm with your team, collaborate. You can even collaborate with customers on calls and whatnot. So this is a whiteboard that I'm in, and I'm going to click on share. I'm going to open it up so that anybody with the link can edit, and I'm going to copy this link and paste it in the chat. There you go. So what I'd love for everybody to do is to jump in. If you head over to the left-hand side, you'll see you've got some buttons here. You can click on elements. You can grab a sticky note, and I'd love to know what your name is, what your role is at HealthScope, maybe your experience with Canva already, and what you hope to use Canva for, or if there's any particular designs or templates that you would like in Canva. That will help David and I make sure that it's a really custom-built platform to suit your needs. You can have a little play with the elements. As you see, that stickers as well that you can bring in. I can bring in a HealthScope logo from your brand kit, pop it in the middle there. Awesome. I can see we've got Sophie, David, Nikki, Christy. Awesome. So while you're doing that, yeah, Canva whiteboards are a really good way to brainstorm internally, to ideate. If you're in a marketing team, for example, they're a good way to ideate. A new feature that we've recently launched within Canva, as you can see, is what we're calling multi-doc type. So although I'm working in a Canva presentation currently, I've actually managed to add a whiteboard to my presentation. So as you can see in the thumbnail down the bottom, if I ever wanted to add a whiteboard into my document, you have the add page button, which is this little plus here, but you can also click on the drop down arrow and you can add all different things. I could add in a document, a video, a social media post, a whiteboard like we're working on now, a sheet, which is our newest doc type to launch in Canva, a website, etc. Okay, cool. So I can see we've got someone here, Nikki, that's going to use Canva for social posts. Engaging social media from David. Christy's a learning designer. You already used Canva for a bit. That's great to see. Courses and learning collateral. That's very cool. We see that use case a lot. Clinical project director. Canva for training and content. That's great. Got exec assistant. Welcome, Sophie. Charlotte from marketing. Marty from marketing. Marty, I think you're on the training last time as well. Welcome back. Very cool. And I can see we've got some little Christmas in July baubles in there as well. I'll leave that one open for you to play with. But what I'm going to do now is take a closer look into your existing account. So as you can see on the screen here, this is your Canva for HealthScope account. The way that I know that it's your HealthScope account is first and foremost, I can see in my recent designs a HealthScope presentation that I've been working on. But if you head to the bottom left hand of your screen, there's this little bubble here, HO, which stands for HealthScope Operations. And I'm currently in the head office team. There's a number of teams, one of them for your hospitals, for example. But David, I imagine most of the people on this call will be sitting in the HealthScope head office team. If you do have a personal Canva account or other Canva accounts with the same email address, you should be able to toggle through these as well, just by clicking on that bubble. But for the purpose of this exercise, you want to make sure that you're working in your HealthScope head office account. That's where all of your branded assets live. So back to your homepage, all of your recent designs that you've been working on will show up here. And as I mentioned before, Canva has a range of doc types available. Some people were initially using Canva back in the day, in the past 10 years, to create things like birthday invitations or wedding menus and things like that. However, as we move into our second decade, Canva's focusing a lot more on the B2B space and making sure that we can enable companies, large companies like HealthScope, to create on-brand content really quickly and easily. So you have these buttons up the top here with your range of different doc types. If you wanted to create something from scratch, a presentation, for example, you could just click on that doc type and you'd be brought into the editor for that particular document. You have a little notification bell in the bottom left here. You can see I've currently got 3 notifications. If somebody were to share a design with you, that's when you would get a notification in Canva, but you would also get an email to your email inbox, so you don't have to worry about monitoring that too closely. Bottom left-hand side here, you have your trash can. If you delete anything from your Canva account, that's where it will live for 30 days, after which it will be removed from the platform. Anytime you want to head back to the homepage, you can just click on this Canva logo in the top left-hand side. Over to our left-hand side panel here, you have this create button, which is basically, if you click on that, it will just open up all of your brand templates, your HealthScope branded templates, but also the ability to create any of these doc types from scratch. If you head to projects, this is where all of your content will live. So anything that you create from scratch within Canva or anything that you start creating is private until you share it. So if I'm to start creating a presentation from scratch, only I can see that until I share it with somebody else. You can organize your content by folders. As you can see here, there are a few folders that have already been shared. You can also create your own folder by clicking on Add New and then Folder. Again, the folder will only be visible to you unless I share it. So I'll call this one Test. I have the option to share it with your team. So for example, if I'm working on something, collaborating in a campaign with David, I can add David and give him the ability to view or edit, but I want him to edit in this instance. And I just want to make sure that this is not shared with head office. This drop down here, so this head office, that means everybody within this head office team. So you don't want to share it with that. And I'm going to select the box to notify team members so that David will get a little email notification and a notification, little red circle in his notification bell as well. Great. So now I have my test folder that's shared with David. If you hover over the folder, you can star this. So say this is a folder that I'll be working on really frequently. You can click on starred, and what it will do then is if you open up your menu, it will star it for you on your left-hand side panel. So even when I'm in the home page, my folder is just really easily accessible there. Everything that you star for yourself, again, is only visible to you. So everything under my starred, only I can see. Your admins and your brand designers also have the ability to star content for you, which will appear down here that will say starred for your team, that you don't have any of those currently. So within your folders, you can also add subfolders, again, just by clicking Add New Folder. And everything that you create, you just want to make sure that you're saving to a folder so it's really easy to access later on. Heading down to your brand button on the left-hand side panel, this is really important. So this is where all of your HealthScope branded assets live. So you can see you have your brand kits, which are basically the home of your brand. So you have your HealthScope brand kit and your ACHA brand kit. But for today, I'll click on the HealthScope brand kit. Now you won't need to spend much time within the brand kit. I thought I'd just open it up and show everybody so that you can see what's available to you. You can see you have your HealthScope logos, you have your primary colors and your tertiary colors, your HealthScope fonts, your brand voice, which David has already uploaded in there for you. What that means is if you use what we call Magic Write, whenever we talk about magic in Canva, we're referring to our AI suite or our suite of AI tools. And Magic Write pulls from ChatGPT 3. So say that I want to create some copy, but I want it to be in my brand voice. I can use Magic Write. I can prompt it to write a paragraph, and it will already pull what I'm writing through in the brand voice in your brand kit. So I can try that just by clicking on here, and I'll show you how to access it in the editor as well. You have HealthScope photos, which are all neatly organized into folders for you. You have graphics and icons. So heading back to our brand hub, you also have brand templates. So now there's some key terminology that will really help you in Canva. You have designs, which are things that you're creating from scratch, and you have brand templates. Brand templates are designs that your admins and brand designers have created for you. And what it means is whenever you're using a brand template, you know that you can be sure that it's going to be on brand. There will also be some locks applied. So if David and the team think that there's a logo that needs to remain where it is on a page, you might notice that you won't be able to move that logo around. That's just because your brand team have said that that's where that logo needs to go. Whenever you're using a brand template, you can be really sure that you're not editing the original design as well. So these are all originals here, but whenever you use one, it's going to create a copy for you to then work on. So I'm going to start off by showing you a brand template, and I might use this social media post as an example. So you can tell that these are all brand templates because they have the little gray bubble in the left-hand side that say brand template, and I'm also looking in the brand template section. So I'll click on this social media post, and as you can see, it prompts me to use this brand template. What that does is if I click use this brand template, you can see that it's created a copy for me. It says copy of social media post. That means we're not editing the original design, which is great. This is our own copy. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to rename the files so that we can find it later on. For today's example, I'm just going to call this test social media post. So you can really easily rename that just by typing over the top. And then I'm also going to save it to my folder that I created earlier, just so I know where to find it later on, simply by clicking on File, move to Folder, and you can see my test folder is there. So I'm going to save it. Excellent. Now I can edit my design. So whenever you see one of these images here with the rolling hills and the blue sky and the cloud, that's what we call a frame. So you know that an image needs to go there, but your brand designers have just popped that there for you so that you can bring in your own image. So that's what I'm going to do to start off with. And there's a few ways that I can do it. The most obvious one is to click on my brand button, which will surface your HealthScope brand kit. Now you can see that I'm operating in the HealthScope brand kit, but you can also, click on this drop down here to shuffle through brand kits if you needed to work from the ACHA brand kit, for example. But for today, I'm going to use the HealthScope brand kit, and I'm going to scroll down until I see my photos. Aren't pulling through for some reason. Let's go back to my HealthScope one. There we go. That's why. Back in my HealthScope brand kit, you can see you have all of your folders of photos here. So I'm going to click See All. Pardon me, I may use the wrong photo here because I'm not too aligned with your brand guidelines, but I'm just going to click on this first folder, for example. All you need to do then is click, drag, and drop the photo into your design. And you'll see that when I hover over the frame, it will automatically snap into place. So if I use this one, there you go. Easy as that. Now I've got my brand photo. You can see that this logo, if I click on it, I can't move that, drag that one around the design. And if I click on it, there's a little picture of a lock there. That just means that your brand designers have locked that one into place because they've said that that's where that logo needs to stay. So nothing for you to do there. All we need to do is update the text. So main headline goes here. I can simply highlight that and type over the top. And then my subheading goes here. And my body goes here. Excellent. Now that's looking really good. I've made sure that I've renamed it and I've saved it to my folder for later on. Now there's a few things I can do. So if I click on this share button in the top right-hand side, I can either add my colleagues to this design. I've already added David, for example, because I've saved it into the folder where David is already shared. I can download it in a range of different formats. If you click on the download button, it's always going to give you a suggested file type. However, click on the drop down and you can see a range of different download types. Back to my share menu, I can also share links. So currently the access to this design is only people added can access, but I can change that. I can share it with my whole head office team, which you probably want to avoid unless you're an admin or a brand designer. You can also select anyone with a link, and this is really good if you're working externally with customers. Maybe you're on a sales team and you want to share a sales proposal with your prospect. You could say anyone with the link, and then you could say can view. I can copy that link and I can hyperlink it into an email or message it to them however you like. Even if they don't have a Canva account, they'll be able to jump into this design and view it. They won't be able to make any changes, but they can view the design. If you are sharing externally, we also have page level insights. So as you can see here, nobody has visited this page, but if I were to share my proposal and I wanted to check back later and see if they've viewed it, you can click on these analytics here and it's going to show you any visits. Obviously there aren't any at the moment, but you should be able to see who's visited it and when and kind of how long they've spent on each page, which can be really handy. Excellent. As I said before, you can add additional pages simply by clicking on the plus button here, and you can add different doc types by clicking on the arrow next to the plus. Maybe I'm working on a concept, so I wanted to add a sheet, which is our newest doc type in Canva. I'm very excited for any of you who use Google Sheets or anything like that to have a little play with that. But maybe you can, list out your ideas before you create your content. So that's how you add a page or a different doc type. And then to remove a page, you simply click on it and hit delete. You can also view things in this kind of full page view in the editor, or you can click on the grid view to view things in the grid, which is really easy if you want to move different pages around, add pages or delete pages. Excellent. I might just pause there. I can see there's a few questions in the chat. One's for David. Perfect. Looks like most of the questions are for David. Is there any questions on the call? Feel free to come off mute if you like. None so far? No so far? No problem. What I'll do is I'll head back to the homepage because there's a few more things that I wanted to show you there. So we've gone through your brand hub, but we also have apps. So within Canva, we have a range of different marketplace apps native in Canva that we collaborate. A really common use case I see is Monday.com. A lot of people use Monday.com as a project management software. So what you can do is you can jump into this apps platform and you can see that we already have an existing Monday.com integration. So if you do have any other platforms that you use day to day, make sure that you jump into the apps center and search for them. Just a really good way to streamline your workflows if you can bring your Monday boards into your presentations all within one platform. As Canva Enterprise members as well, you also have the ability to build custom integrations on our API. So if there is a software that you use day in, day out, that you would love to be able to integrate with Canva, make sure you speak to David about it and we can have a conversation about building that one. Back to the home page, I'll also show you a few items in the settings menu. So if you click on your little bubble in the left-hand side, you have your settings menu there. You have your profile, where you can upload your profile photo or remove or change your photo. You also want to make sure that your name and your email address are correct. That just makes it really easy for people to be able to collaborate and share content with you. What else did I want to show you in here? You can also see all of the other people in your team, which is really handy if you want to collaborate. And groups is what I wanted to show you. So groups is a really good way if you have lots of different teams operating within the HQ team. You can think of a group as like an email distribution list. So say I work on the marketing team and I want to make sure that my folder with all of my content is editable by all of my marketing team. I can create a group. So David, again, I'm going to use you as my example. I'm just going to call this test. I'll say that it's the test marketing team. And then you can do a group description if you like, or you can do that later. I'm going to create the group. And then I'm going to add my team members. David, apologies about the notifications you'll be receiving, but you are my guinea pig for today. Great, so now I've added David to my group. So you can see that this is my marketing team group. Both David and I are in it. And then if I were to head back to projects to see my folders, so I'm going to filter by folders. I'm going to go to my test folder. And I also want to share it with my marketing team. So I can click on the ellipsis, the 3 dots here. I can click share, and then I can invite the group. And that just means that everybody in this marketing team can then edit the designs, and I want to notify them. So I'll do that as well. Great. Back to settings, actually. Here we go, help and resources. So if you click on the bottom left-hand side again on that bubble, click on help and resources. There's quite a few different places you can go to get Canva support. So the first one is Ask Canva, which you'll see actually opens up this little chat box here. It's the little purple question mark in the bottom right-hand side of your home screen. This is our AI-generated help assistant, which is really handy. So this is basically like Google for Canva. Say that I wanted some help creating a video. How do I create a video? I can ask the chatbot. It's going to have a little think, and it's then going to scan all of our Canva resources online and give me a really helpful, easy to follow step-by-step guide on how to create videos in Canva. A few other resources for you in help and resources. You can suggest improvements, say if you're using one of our AI functionalities or you have a feature request that you would love to see in Canva. And we also have our design school, which I'm going to quickly jump into, that I would really recommend. As I said, today is a very beginner level training for people new to Canva and new to their enterprise account. But if you do want to learn or expand your Canva knowledge, this is a really good place to go. They're kind of filtered by different, I guess, experience levels, getting started, for example. Teach and learn, I know we've got a few people in this space. So there's a lot that you can learn here. And we have a series of, short 5-minute or 20-minute videos that you can watch on how to do things within Canva. I think that's probably everything else that I wanted to show you other than what's new. If you ever wanted to keep your eyes on what's new with Canva, we launch new features, multiple new features daily. We do have our 2 largest product launches every year, Canva Create, which we just had in May, and Droptober, which is coming in October. So make sure you stay tuned for new features that are launched then. But you can also keep up with what's new there. Jump back to the home page and I'll pause again to see if there's any questions. Nothing in the chat for me, I don't think. Any questions on the call, or I mean, we've only done about half an hour. So if there's anything that I haven't demonstrated in the beginner training that you would like to see, feel free to let me know and I can do a bit of a demo for you. Nope. David, is there anything else that you think I should cover in today's session?
Well, I think if everyone is okay, we could leave it like this. And the only thing is, I will send you guys an email with the recording, and also I will be sending you a final step to get access to Canva. So last week, some of you had access, some of you don't. And the thing is, the cybersecurity, they have a process in place to grant access. So I will send you an email with all the steps and with the recording as well of the training. Yeah, that's all for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. I'm excited to see what you create and once you get onboarded into Canva. And David, I'd love to do a part 2. Once everybody gets their basic knowledge up to scratch, we can take it up a level and do another training session once everybody's acquainted.
Thank you, Abby.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks,
Thanks,
you.
Abby.
Thanks.
Thanks all.
Thanks, Abby.
Thank you.